Everybody, always. Thank you for the information last night, Ashley. And your day doesn't end at 5. No, and I appreciate that. So is there a motion we approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay, Mr. Mills, there you are. Gonna start early for the Chattanooga game.
We already got that covered.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, Council and Mayor. We have 2 applicants today. The first one for AP North LLC. DBA is Avenue Pub North Bank. They're going at 1491 North Bank Parkway. They're applying for a restaurant retail liquor license.
Well,
A bar in District 3.
You get a great restaurant too.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
It's right over there by Urban Cookhouse.
All right now. With the new Avenue Pub.
Yes, sir.
Oh, is it gonna be in the same?
It's just being built right beside the North Bank Office Park, right there where Urban Cookhouse is.
All right.
Okay.
And my second applicant is Pop Strokes Tuscaloosa LLC, DJ Pop Stroke.
Give them all they want.
They're applying for special retail more than 30 days at 680 Harper Lee Drive.
Why special retail more than 30 days? Why not restaurant?
They'll be able to serve alcohol out on the premises, around the whole entire premises, instead of inside of the restaurant area itself. So they don't have a licensed premises yet with the ABC because it's not completed. They haven't been able to take the final pictures. So the ABC recommend they apply for special retail more than 30 days.
Okay, I'm not sure I follow. So they can,
They'll be
and
able to
follow
have,
one more slower.
okay, they'll be able to have the alcohol, not necessarily inside the restaurant, but they can have it out along the golf course, the putt-putt golf course itself.
Okay. Right around there.
Is there a reason?
Tony, will they likely, when they get the restaurant finished, they'll come back and apply for the restaurant then?
It's licensed to cover it.
Oh, this will be it, all right.
So there's nothing they could do with a restaurant license that they can't do with a special.
Yeah, I remind everybody, thank you. Remind everyone too, if you're looking for employment, they are very active. Go to PopStroke website and they're taking applications for jobs of all kinds. Assistant managers, just everything. As well as Burlington, they're still taking applications, so. All right, Zach.
We got 2 annexations for you guys. First one is 1.33 acres at 15560 Kevin Cove. So this is just a house on the lake. They want to come in for city schools. It's close to depth on this in the future, but this is what they're going to be proposing to you guys of that planned unit development.
Can you go back to the aerial photo for just a second?
Yes, sir.
So that's the state trooper office just off the upper right corner.
Yes, sir.
that's behind the old Automax building.
And then
Yeah,
where
there's
is
pretty much a auto
St. Luke's Church? Where is it?
auto stores all up along the skyline.
Okay.
And they will be getting garbage. It is a primary expansion area, as you can see in that aerial. It's basically an island within the city limits. So it's a good thing that they're coming in, and they will be providing garbage, or we will be providing garbage. And that's all I've got for you guys tonight. And again, of course, those can be adopted by unanimous consent tonight, following introduction.
I have to ask this question about people coming into the city to go to city schools.
Yes, sir.
They've signed the form that says they understand that this is kind of like Hotel California,
Yes, sir.
right?
And they are from
Should,
California,
unless
so they're
We
familiar.
decide something here, when you check out, you can never leave. Or
Yes, sir.
check in, right?
Yep,
But, because I know that was a controversial thing when we first got on.
definitely.
The council.
Yeah, they're aware.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Mayor Maddox.
Yes, tonight I will not be at council meeting. I'll be leaving around 5 for a Veterans Day program, but very preferential too, since I have a 4th grader close to my heart that will be participating in it. I will be meeting you back tonight later for the announcement, so I will see you tonight afterwards. And I know Ms. Day's should be working with you and providing transportation for you. Second is that I'm going to be appointing John Smith as the employee representative on the Planning and Zoning Commission. John, as you know, was recently just promoted to Deputy Director of ESD. When Ashley and I were thinking about who would be the perfect employee to appoint to that position, it's one of the statutory slots. One of the things we haven't had is the perspective of environmental services in terms of garbage, trash, and recycling. And with John's also his experience with large vehicles and everything that comes with it, and knowing everything that we develop has a vehicle aspect to it, it made a lot of sense. So excited to have him. I hope he sees it as a good thing and not a bad thing.
That's what he did to fish y'all off.
Don't treat me that way. Don't be nice to me.
Is this taking Alvin's spot?
He's taking the sales spot on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Oh, okay.
And it was funny this morning when he came to meet with me. You know, he I guess he saw me and Ashley there. He wasn't as worried. I said, "Good thing it wasn't me and LaShonda you were meeting with." I said, "That's when you have to worry a little bit." But I'm excited about John. I'm glad he's going to join our Planning Commission. And so, just wanted to make you aware of that appointment. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Randy. Hey.
Okay, so two quick things. The first is the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelters Advisory Committee. Mr. Tyner, your term has expired. If you would like to be reappointed, we can have an ordinance on the 21st to reappoint you.
I want to be reappointed, thank you, if you will.
Be a tight vote.
If it wasn't for the animals, I would not want to be on any board.
And then the last thing I have is I have a new assistant city clerk. Miss Haley Abbott is joining us. Haley, do you mind introducing yourself to everyone?
Thank you very much. My name's Haley Abbott. I'm coming from the city of Northport. I'm excited to be here.
We finally got one of y'all over here.
And she even looks like
Kip
that.
was beneath.
Yeah, I know you are a smart woman.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That's all I have.
I'm kidding, Northport.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Oh,
Good.
okay. Scott.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, council. I am about midway down on page 2, where on page 13 you'll be authorizing the purchase of equipment from Klein Trailers. This is a total of $14,975 and comes from purchasing. On page 14 you'll be authorizing the purchase of equipment from Pro Trainer. This is a total of $61,730. This is for 2 ESD recycling trailers, and again comes from purchasing. On page 15, you'll be authorizing the purchase of equipment from Unruh Fire Inc. This is a total of $66,678.21. This comes from purchasing and is for a TFR ARF skid unit. I believe that would be in use at the airport. I don't see Chief Smith, so Chief Williams. So for our ARF vehicle at the airport. On page 16, you'll be authorizing disbursement from District 3 improvement funds for the Northridge High School. This is a total of $7,375 and came from Finance Committee last week. On page 17, you'll be authorizing a renewal of the city's helicopter insurance coverage with Westchester Fire Insurance Company. This is an annual rate of $51,491 and came from Insurance and Litigation Committee last week. On pages 18 and 19, you'll be tentatively awarding a public works contract to K&A Builders for the City Hall Annex 1 elevated parking lot resurfacing project. That is a total of $199,000 and came from projects last week. On page 20, you'll be authorizing a professional services contract with Porter Higginbotham Engineering. This is a total not to exceed $53,535 and again came from projects last week. On page 21, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Hydra Service. This is a total of $7,370.59. Again, this came out of projects last week. On page 22, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Rick's Service Company. This is a total of $8,500 and again came from projects last week. On page 23, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Tusco Inc. This is a total of $36,959.18, and again came from projects last week. On page 24, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with J&L Tree Service for as-needed tree services. This is a total not to exceed $50,000, and again came from projects last week. Skipping over a couple of items that UD covered for you. The last thing on my portion of the agenda on page 33, you'll be setting December 5th is the date for public hearing to consider the school's request for a property tax increase. If you haven't seen it this morning, I sent each of you a draft of what that public notice will I believe look like. We've done some tweaking on it, but this resolution tonight is simply setting the public hearing for the December 5th. It takes no action other than setting that public hearing.
So when we renamed the streets recently, we caught some flack from people saying they were not aware that there was a public hearing. How are we making this known out there?
We follow the procedure set by state code, which requires a running in the Tuscaloosa News.
Is that it?
Yes, sir. Typically, we do what we just follow state law on public hearings and notice.
Okay, I didn't know if because there had been complaints about the typical way not working well, if we had considered anything else, Skywriter or...
No, sir. I mean, you will recall on the legislative agenda last year, we've actually sought to kind of have some of those requirements changed because, quite frankly, there are better ways to do it than the way we're required to by law. We have, and Ashley's team throughout her career has followed several different ways, several different versions as set out by law, and I can assure you there's definitely no perfect way of doing it. But
That I believe.
If there's
I was
a
just
procedure
I was
you'd
just
like to
fishing
defer
for a
to-
better way, not a perfect way.
Yes, sir.
And it's got,
Yes, sir. We do have one item for executive session. I don't remember if Mayor Maddox covered that.
okay. Alrighty, let's see, I wanna thank, Mayor Maddox for, this has been it ebb and flows, something, I said, it'll be gone tomorrow, then there'll be something new, but I don't know about you guys, but I have spent, probably since the press release was sent out by the library, I have spent majority of my time responding, but only to like neighborhood groups or, big groups because but I really appreciate, Mayor, you've responded in an amazing way
I want to echo that. I'm in awe.
to everybody and it took me, because it took me 15 minutes to respond to one last night. And because I was, for the most part, well, first of all, the sad thing about, and I'm gonna be very careful, the sad thing about a press release is that it goes straight to social media. And then people start posting things that just simply aren't true. I had several things posted about me that I had served on the library board, that I was on the finance committee and forced them to come all those weeks. There were just so many things that just weren't true. And so that's what you get with that. So that's why I took hours to very carefully respond for the most part, but not on your level. But I think that's very important because I told someone, I said, I don't dodge. I got shamed bad in one post yesterday. I mean, I hadn't been shamed that much since first grade. But in the end, just about everybody on that page said, well, that's not how I thought it was. So, but I will say this, that I think we all care very much about the library. And Mr. Crow and I have been asked to meet with the county in Northport next week, isn't it?
Friday week.
Friday week. And you know, they were talking about maybe looking at a different financial model altogether, kind of like we did with the Metro Animal Shelter. I don't know if that will work, would be something or not. But I just, for everybody out there and for you counselors as well, just let everybody know that we're not gonna have any knee-jerk reactions. I think we're gonna take our due diligence and have hopefully some very productive meetings with our financial partners. And, because I'm sorry, I will say this, you've got a split board of directors in the library. And so it's not all library against the city and against Northport or against the county. It's a split board as well. And I think very much so.
And Kip, to your point, this all didn't happen in 15 minutes. A lot of these problems happened way before any of us were on the council, going back probably longer than Walt being mayor. So, I mean, I think there's fundamental issues that have got to be addressed. And part of the issue that I've got with it, to echo your sentiments, and everybody's got an opinion at this table, is the way and the process that this has happened, I don't think is helpful. And that's just as a press release, because we all were trying to get together and have a conversation before all that happened. So I mean, I think we all support the library. I think we all want to see something good happen there, and I believe we will figure something out. But I wouldn't expect it to come out of one meeting in one day, because again, this is not something that just happened in this budget. And that's just part of that's been disappointing to me. And I have said that to multiple board members.
Yeah.
Just kind of the way all that happened. I wish we could have had a little conversation before that. And you know, we're only into the second month of their budget. So if there is a problem, why does that need to happen in 30 days after the budget's passed, Mr. President? I mean, you've got plenty of money to be fine for a pretty good bit, but since I'm sure I'll be getting some great posts on social media too, so, but that's fine with me.
I've been contacted by some people that want to listen, and I've been contacted by some people that form their opinion from the press release. I would just request that people look at the facts. The mayor's put out some really good facts, and again, we all want the library. I do not hate the library, if anybody wants to write that.
Yeah, and what I feel, and also.
We'll get there, Mr. President. I think we will.
Yeah, I do too.
We're all supportive of the library. Everybody at this table has. We spent $3.2 million, if I recall, in this budget. So that I don't see how we could be painted as not supporting the library, Mr. President.
Well, I'll stop on this now, but I want all the library employees who are probably watching to know, my heavens, I have never, ever been what I've been accused of as far as some post, and here I'm giving legitimacy to Facebook, but it's to be an anti-raises for these employees. I mean, that's what
Anti-raises?
giving raises to the library employees. I mean, I've been told that, well, you're just trying to keep people down, and they need the money worse than anybody. You know, Lord have mercy, I've never even come close to. I've been out there opposing raises for the library employees. I mean, that's things like that, and then some of the employees believed it, that I really felt that way, and I said, you know, that's just. Anyway, it's all been kind of sad.
I go to the library about weekly. Apparently they don't know who I am, which maybe it'll stay that way.
They won't want me to come in there anymore. But anyway, I just want everybody to know, and including this council, may ask, that we have been asked, this didn't come from me or by the chairman of the library board, to meet with the funding, to be a part of the funding partners meeting, and so we will do that, and then keep everybody posted on it, when and where. And I understand somebody asked me today about a December 18th meeting that the library posted. Apparently it's an open board meeting of the library, December 18th, because people said, well, we'll pack that meeting, and I don't even know about December 18th meeting, but I found out later it's an open meeting of the library board. So,
Merry Christmas.
anyway, it's been unfortunate, but I wish people would, not be so quick to absolutely think the very, very, very worst.
Amen.
But it's human nature.
It is. And I'd say, Mr. Tyner, first of all, I appreciate this council because last year during their budget hearing for fiscal '23, which you entertained in '22, we all said we need to do more for the library. And so after that budget was passed, we began working with Jennifer with her appointment, Ms. Pearson, her appointment. I know Carly and I had several meetings with her and her team. And then out of that came the increased funding for Weaver Bolden, which they said would have the net effect of freeing up assets at the main library. Plus, as part of the Weaver Bolden agreement, we put in there contractually that we would pay for any cost overruns. So that was the first time the library had ever had that. In addition, this council led the initiative on the capital improvements as well. Now, all that got approved sometime late spring, early summer. And that was real progress. And I think that's something we should be proud of. The county has done a lot. And you've seen it in a few of my emails. Frankly, the county investment into our library system is probably the model of the state, I would suspect, in what they do. And Northport, to their credit, has really increased funding and was on a good trajectory. It's unfortunate that the sequence of events fell like they did, but we all know the library is important, and I know that in all of our discussions in the past week, we're going to keep that first and foremost. Moving forward, it's certainly, as you said, not about the employees at TPL. It's just the optics and imagery of you can't, on one hand, appropriate large pay increases, and then on the other, cut services, especially the services that are not personnel driven. So I think understanding that and acknowledging that on a road to accountability and transparency in the long run will be a good thing. And Mr. Tyner and Mr. Crowe, we can do anything to give you information as a team going into those discussions. Please let us know.
Absolutely, sure will. And again, that's very important that everybody know. You know, my response from now on, from this day forward, and somebody starts back, which they did this morning, is that look, I'm not gonna debate you on Facebook. I mean, I told you what we're doing, the next step, so I'm not gonna look back, we're gonna look forward, and so if you want to get a rile out of me, you're not gonna get it. This accomplishes nothing, as we all know.
You were shamed.
I was shamed.
Like
I have not been that shamed. I can still see my daddy with his stick.
Do you want to talk about that?
That ain't shame.
Do you want to talk
But
about
I
that?
felt ashamed because he did it in front of all my friends.
Do you want to talk about that, Mr. Tyner? First grade shame? I mean, we can.
I'll never forget how my dad beat the crap out of me in front of all my friends.
If it ever got to that level, it was not good.
My dad didn't.
Mine
My dad didn't whip. He beat.
That was not good.
But I
You're
remember
still
the last
alive.
one. I never got another one.
But you're still here.
I'm still here. Think about it all the time.
It's a good one, it only takes one.
Only took that one time. I never got another one.
Not for that.
Oh, yeah. I got the older I outran him. All right, Wednesday, we got Historic Preservation Commission meeting, and I couldn't do that now. City Hall
He couldn't either.
will be closed on Friday. Police and Pension Board meeting Monday. Okay, no council committee meetings next week due to Veterans Day holiday or 2 weeks after that because of Thanksgiving. And planning and zoning, Monday, November the 20th. Okay, and do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Motion second, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that this executive session is discussed with their attorney the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated if the governmental body pursues a proposed course of action.
Okay, all right, we have a motion second to go into executive session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?